37 Saw traps. I'm personally a big fan of the Saw movies, and I think they're very influential to the horror genre, introducing gore to mainstream audiences. So they've always had a special place in my heart. Anyone who's curious to my favorite, it's probably got to be 4 or 6. But I know these movies have a pretty mixed reception, so I'll pass my microphone to my editors and hear their opinions on them. Thanks.
I want to go first.
You need to control that. You need to control yourself.
Alright, so I've only seen one Saw movie.
What?
Woo!
I'm not done here, okay? Let me speak. So, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, but I do agree that it did give a new perspective to the horror genre. So I can respect that, and they're not my favorite, but I think they... Stop. I think they definitely give a new path in the horror genre to follow. So I think that's pretty awesome about them, although they're not my favorites to watch. But here's Jeremiah.
Jeremiah here, MC Germ, here with my brief analysis on the Saw movies. Personally, I have to agree with good old Moses on this one. I'm a big fan of the Saw series, and it's a big thumbs up. It has really changed the horror genre itself and was a really nice kickstart to the torture porn genre. Passing it back off to Moses.
I'm a really big fan of that genre. I just watched The Collector. That was a blast. And I really like Hostel, too. So that's my opinion on the whole genre. But let's get to ranking the traps. As you know, the highlight and heart of the Saw movies is in its very brutal traps. And I know most people see a lot of these at face value, but there's a lot of underrated gems here. So let's get to it. What do we have to start with?
Gems.
We have the Carrie Angel trap, Detective Carrie.
Wasn't this rigged, though?
Yeah, this was rigged. So how do you guys feel about
Wait, is this...
it's the one, the Angel?
I feel like
It's a rigged rip, though.
rigged.
I know that
I feel like the rigged traps really kind of like ruined the point of the entire, just movies in general. I feel like the victim should always have a chance to survive each one of the traps, and to have it be rigged just spoils it for me.
I think this would have been a way better trap, again, if it wasn't rigged. That literally defeats the purpose of the traps, like Jeremiah said. I do like the concept, but the fact that you can't win it is stupid. I'd give this trap... I like the concept of it, and I would give that like a B, but the fact that it's unwinnable puts it down for me to like a C.
Okay. So, here's the thing. This is actually one of my favorite traps thematically, but it's rigged, and that's just like a big downside. So, the Detective Carrie Angel trap, I think we put it in B or C tier. What do you guys think?
Going for C.
I'm going for C as well.
Okay, it's decided. She goes into C. This looks like the Frozen trap. So I don't like Jeff at all. I think he's like the worst Saw protagonist, and he was really like stupid in this trap. So he does the trap, and it takes him like 5 hours to get to the point. But in the actual trap, though, it's a very painful. It's extremely painful. Water's being sprayed on a girl who's already frozen, and it's just really horrible to watch. But I think it accomplishes what it wants to accomplish. So that's my opinion on the traps. I'm feeling a good B here. I'll pass it to you guys.
Oh, yes. I do think this trap could have been more creative in a way. As you know, it's just water being sprayed on the victim and having the victim get frozen to death. And it might just be a little unrealistic. I know all these traps aren't supposed to be like very realistic, but this trap just doesn't really do it for me. The victim would have died of hypothermia like way earlier than she like froze to death. Passing it off to what's your name? Abraham.
I find this trap just nothing spectacular about it, but nothing terrible about it. I'm feeling like a B on this one.
Yeah, well, let's go B. It's decided. Saw 3 gets its B category. So this is the pig vat trap.
Wait,
I
think I know this one.
Okay, so I have to, even though this trap isn't as gory as some of the series favorites, I gotta be real with you. I think this is one of the best in the entire series. Because it's disgusting. It shows Jigsaw playing with his victim psychologically and not physically, with Jeff having to burn his dead child's toys. So I really think this is a great trap all around, and it's really intense to watch. So, you know what? I'm going to go really unpopular here. I'm feeling an A right now. I'm feeling an A on the pig vat trap.
Honestly, I have to disagree. I thought this trap was just disgusting and it made me like really sick to like my stomach while watching this. I might have to put this in D.
Wow, so we have two polar opposite views on this.
Isn't that what the trap's like supposed to do, though?
Yeah, I like the factor that it kind of plays with the man mentally, and plays with his the mental man plays with his feelings. So I guess I'm kind of like the tiebreaker on this one, and I do like it because of how Jigsaw plays this one out. It's pretty gross, and I'm not massive on or not like a big gory guy, but I'd still give it like a B. So what are you guys thinking?
I'll compromise for B.
What are you doing? Yeah. Resuming on, I think we're giving this one a B. Do you guys agree? All right, cool.
So the rack trap, easy S tier, boys. I will not be hearing otherwise. No arguments. Most brutal trap in the series, one of the most damaging psychological, and it does everything that Jigsaw wants us to feel through it, with Jeff finally getting his empathy for his son's killer, and it gave us empathy for his son's killer. So I really like it.
All right, moving on to the next trap is actually Jigsaw's very first trap against the man who is responsible for the death of his unborn baby. Honestly, I might have to put this trap in F tier just because the trap malfunctioned, and the guy didn't die because of the trap. He got thrown into barbed wire, so that's why I would give this an F.
The trap breaks, and it's like really bad.
I don't like this one either, just because it's a fail and anticlimactic, so I'll also go F.
Okay, this is like the entire plot of Saw 4, this trap. Yeah. Remember the ice things that swing down? So I like this. I like how this works. I'm a big fan of how this trap works, actually, because I like the idea of the game Detective Rig is playing, where you can't save everyone, and you need to slow down a little, because 1 second later and nothing would have happened to everyone there. This is also when Hoffman is revealed to be the Jigsaw apprentice, and I'm not a big Hoffman guy, so... Me too. The trap works at its brutality with the whole ice thing. And I'm not sure if this includes Art Blank's Spine Ripper, but that was a really lame trap. It's technically part of the game there. So I'm feeling a C tier on this.
I haven't seen this trap, so don't take for me.
The steak one. Yeah, do you know this one?
Yeah. All right, next one is the steak trap. I don't remember which movie this is from.
4.
This is from Saw 4, where these two people have been stabbed with stakes and have been impaled through one another, and basically the stakes have been impaled through the man's organs that are what's the word?
His vital
organs, while it goes through his wife's. It misses his wife's organs, basically. And the wife has to pull it out to save herself and kill her husband. And if I remember, these two were like in a divorce or something.
No, the guy was abusing the child, and she didn't say anything about it.
All right. So where I would put this trap is probably a B tier, just for its creativity.
I'm gonna have to agree with that. It's not one of the most gory in the franchise, but it definitely works at what it sets out to do.
I'm gonna have to agree with B.
Okay, yeah, go to B. I like this next trap. I want to talk about it.
What's the rate?
This is the Saw 4. This is, in my opinion, one of the best traps in the series, and I'll give a few reasons why. First of all, the guy deserves it, which is always important in the traps. A few of these traps, the people in them are in it for, like, smoking or something. But this guy really deserved what came to him, and every aspect of the trap just works. From the whole, he takes out his eyes because, and then he takes out his body because he's used that to harm so many people. And it's brutal. It's relevant, and it's everything I want a Saw trap to be. So I'm feeling an S tier, man.
I'm feeling also an S tier. It incorporates everything you need it to be. It's interesting, it's gory, and it's deserved, which I think is a massive part in it. So let's move on to the next.
That's the scalping chair. That's the scalping chair. Yeah, I want you to talk about it. Yeah.
All right, the scalping chair out of which Saw movie? Out of Saw 4, once again. basically this young woman's hair is wrapped into like this sort of rig thing with gears that will pull back her hair until she is like fully scalped to death. And we really don't get to see the outcome of this trap because she gets saved by one of the is he a detective?
Yeah, Detective Rig.
By Detective Rig, and then she tries to kill him, and then which leads to her getting killed by Rig. So I would put this probably in C.
Any rebuttals?
I'm gonna agree with that right there. I think C is a good place. Mausoleum Trap. See no evil and speak no evil. Remember this? So this is Art Blank's first trap he's in. I think it's sort of lame. I'm honestly feeling a D tier. It's two guys fighting for a bit, and one of the guys has a clear advantage over the other because being able to see is like if the other guy's blind, you're most likely gonna win a fight. So I personally think Art Blank had an unfair advantage here. I don't think the trap is all that memorable, and I just sort of think as an introduction for Art Blank. So I guess D tier.
I agree on D because sight is definitely more valuable while in combat than just the ability to speak.
Yeah.
I also agree. D tier, and yeah, they basically covered it all. Sight over speaking.
This is the first game. Next up, saw one that has to go S tier, right?
This next trap has to go to S tier. You know, just because it's a classic.
Game, yeah.
The very first trap seen by any viewers of the franchise.
Yeah, I'll have to agree there. It introduces John Kramer to us in that pretty amazing twist, even though it doesn't make sense because he couldn't have, not been dead for that long or been fake being dead for that long. But still, the trap is also really effective. It introduces us to another character we see a lot through the franchise that's not just a Jigsaw. And it's what ties the first movie together, so obvious S tier for me. Dude, can you tell what that is?
Oh, it's where like that swinging blade goes down and it goes into his abdomen.
The pendulum.
Yeah, it's the pendulum.
Oh, okay.
I think so. Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that is the pendulum. You are correct. I just noticed that. Okay, so rig trap. Hoffman rigged it to kill the guy that killed his sister. I think the trap is gory. I think the guy who is in the trap deserves it. It's a pretty brutal killing when you learn about it. So I'm feeling a C tier on this one.
Yeah. I don't like that it's rigged, but I mean, it's
Water Cube.
Let me speak on this one. This is one of the traps where the victim beats the trap in a very, very courageous and creative way.
It's also technically a rigged trap, I believe.
It is.
Yeah, I think it's a rigged trap and he beats it. So that's
But Strom, with a very intelligent decision to stab his part of the neck area with a pen he had in his shirt pocket to create a breathing hole. A tracheotomy. That's the word I'm going for. And I would honestly put this trap in A, even though that it is rigged. I just love this trap so much because it's one of the few that the victim actually survives. So I would definitely put this in A.
I like Strom a lot, so A tier. That looks like the Pound of Flesh, maybe?
I don't think so.
Oh. Well, this is Saw 5. Oh, the decapitation trap from Saw 5, opening of Saw 5.
Oh.
So all the Saw 5 share the theme of selfishness, that everyone could have been stopped if they just worked together. And I think this is actually probably the best trap in that movie. Maybe. It has a pretty brutal outcome. It has a good twist when you learn how it could have been avoided. So, to be honest, I'm feeling a solid A tier on this one.
I am feeling an A tier just because this trap is very, very. It's actually very easy to beat, as all other keys. Just one key would have unlocked everyone's neck. Neck collar that was pushing them back towards the blade. So a definite A tier on this one.
This is the explosive chamber one. This one's sort of lame, like low-key. My issue with Saw 5 is a lot of the traps, are the whole threat is the room's gonna blow up, and this kills the other villain of Saw 5, who the trap villain, if you will, the guy who's also in the trap. This kills him, but The other trap, you could somewhat believe that these people were selfish enough to not unlock their collars. But this one, you would have to be so dumb to not realize that each pod could contain more than one person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm feeling an F tier, man.
Exactly.
Outcome isn't cool. Really easily beatable. Hard to believe that the victims were that dumb, so F tier. That is the electric bathtub.
Oh, another one from.
Yeah, so Saw 5 is going to be sort of odd to rank because, like, the traps all complement each other in their own way because the way this works is all 5 people were supposed to do it. So in that respect, it's sort of neat. But otherwise, it's not that cool. It's just another, like, the room's going to blow up if you don't shock this person to death. And also, they just sort of murder this chick in it and, like, they get over it in, like, a half second. So I don't like it that much.
C or B?
C. Maybe, no, D. I say D.
Atticus, how do you feel about this one? D?
Yep.
Alright, cool.
That is the blood one. I like this trap. This is the best trap from Saw 5, in my opinion. And no, it's a little worse than the decapitation trap. You were supposed to have everybody there to give 2 milliliters or 2 ounces of blood, but not everybody was there, so both people had to give 5 ounces.
Pints, right?
Pints. Oh yeah, that was pints.
Ounces
You're right.
are like this.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was pints. So they had to have 5 pints of blood, and you can actually maybe survive by losing 5 pints, which one of them does. The guy does not, though. So I'm feeling a B tier.
I have seen this one.
I have to agree, and I'll let Abraham disclose on this one.
I'm also feeling a B on this one. I think it's interesting. I think that's all we need to say about it. It's just a good trap.
Next trap on the list seems to be the casket one. The standoff between Strom and the Terminator, the Hoffmanator, I should actually say. I'm a huge fan of this trap. One of my favorite traps in the entire series. It's a trap with a huge twist where at first it seems like you have to get your opponent into the casket, but in the very end, the person who gets in the casket is the one that survives, and the person not able to get in the casket gets crushed to death. So I'm feeling an A on this one.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. I don't think it's quite S tier material, but I believe it's definitely one of the smartest traps. F for this next one. That's just it's sort of cool, the idea, but it's also, like, really dumb. How it's in, like, a public area. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. Part of the whole scariness of Saw is that felt like it was a nightmare. Like, there was no way out. So making the trap in, like, a sunny city on, like, a crowded day, it just doesn't work. And also, there's so many loopholes to how Jigsaw set it up or how whatever apprentice set it up. And then it's really cringy, the guys in the trap are.
Yeah.
They're like, we're breaking up with you. Yeah, I just hate this trap. That's our first trap of Saw. Which one is this? 7? Yeah, I think this is 7. Yeah, so that's my opinion on that trap
Next trap is the
Horsepower trap.
the horsepower neo-Nazi trap. It's between 3 neo-Nazis, I believe,
4, I think.
or 4. One is glued to the front seat of the vehicle by super glue.
Yeah,
And-
ripping his skin off.
Yeah, and basically what he has to do is reach over to a lever about 3 feet away from him. And the pain and suffering he has to go through is that he has to reach for it with his skin being pulled off of his back from the super glue. And then he has his girlfriend under the wheel. So if time runs out, the car will just run over his girlfriend's head and into his other buddy.
And then it rips the guy's jaw off.
Who's behind the car.
Yeah.
Very creative trap. I really like this one. I would put it in B tier.
Yeah. It's another one where the guys in it totally deserve it, which is helpful. I always think that makes traps better when the people in it are deserving of what happens to them. So I'm feeling a B tier as well. Let's go with that. This is the fish hook trap from Saw 7. So whether you think this one is impossible or not is a different issue, as you have to, like, be completely quiet while you have a fish hook scraping through your throat. So my opinion on this one, C tier. Yeah. Okay. There's not a lot. there's not a lot to say about some of these. Yeah. So for some reason, let's finish the Saw 7 traps, which are these two. Let's start with that one, the push-up bar thing. Remember that? And then it's the wheel. You said you don't like that one? Yeah, I'm feeling a D on this one. All of Saw 7's main game traps sort of suck. So the whole theme of it is hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. I believe this is see no evil. I believe the other one is speak no evil because you're not allowed to talk. And this one is hear no evil, which is also really bad. It's like a guy has to walk on some like tight platforms. So that goes in D. Is that the one where he has to hit out his teeth?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the teeth trap.
This is from Saw 1.
Yeah, that's why I skipped it.
Okay.
That's the teeth trap. I don't know. It's a lame trap, but in D, I guess. And then the brazen ball, that goes F. I think we can agree. That innocent lady got killed because Jigsaw was having like a bit of a midlife crisis. So, or whoever was the apprentice at the time, I can barely remember anymore. Okay, let's go back to Saw 1 now to rank the barbed wire trap. How you feel on this? I always thought it was sort of stupid.
Yeah, it was pretty
boring. It's like edited weird too, so it's like yeah, because the budget is really low. Yeah, the budget was really low.
Yeah, it's just an early Saw trap where they really didn't go above and beyond yet. It's just meh, just eh. You do have to respect it because it's one of the first traps, but I'm feeling a C on this one.
Yeah, see, I think the idea is really cool. The whole I like that. That looks like the breathing game.
Yeah.
Is this the smoker?
Yeah. We're getting into the Saw 6 ones now.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna be able to talk about this one a lot more because I actually have seen Saw 6. This one's just, I don't like it. It's unwinnable.
It's unwinnable
for the okay. So two people are in a Saw trap, and one guy's a smoker, and essentially you have to hold your breath for as long as you can, and first one to tap out loses and gets their skull crushed. Every time they take a breath, I'm pretty sure that a device starts crushing their lungs, which I think is creative, but the fact that a smoker is in it obviously decreases his chances. So it's not technically unwinnable, but the chances of the smoker winning are so low that I don't really like this one all that much. I'll let Moses speak on this one.
Also, like, really, Jigsaw, you put the dude who was like, I can get why the Easton was in this trap, but like, you put this random janitor who happened to work at a firm, and it seems like he just wanted a reason to throw him in, so, and he ended up just landing on smoking. I think this trap's sort of dumb.
I think it's a D.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. That is the live or die one from,
Oh.
yeah, the one where it's just a choose who lives.
That's.
Oh, is this from Saw 6?
Yeah. I think this trap fits the insurance theme, choosing who lives or dies. Yeah, I like this movie a lot.
Oh,
but
wait. Is this the one where, like, the husband's involved? You know that trap at the end of Saw 6?
No, it's the one where the two people are tied up by barbed wire.
Oh,
yeah.
And then, like, they swing.
Yeah. It's like who lives, the guy who.
And the lady lives, right?
Yeah. Even though his policy would say the young dude lives. I think this trap is effective at what it does, and I think it's going to get about getting across the message of the movie, which is like how healthcare should be free and stuff, which I agree with. So I really think this is a great trap at demonstrating what the movie's about.
I really like this trap as well, and especially because of how hard a decision this is. A guy with he's pretty young, so he has a lot of potential, a lot of life to live.
Yeah, but no family or anything.
Yeah, no family, and then a lady with a husband and a son or a daughter.
Yeah, she has like a whole family.
Yeah, she's a whole family, so having her go would be tough.
Diabetes in her family.
Yeah.
And she's like slowly dying.
Yeah, so an older person with a family. So I think it demonstrates how hard decision making in this series is.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I really like this trap. I'm feeling like a B or an A.
Yeah, totally.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
Enough said.
B. I say we go B.
B tier it is. All right, next one we have the steam burns, where this young lady has a arrow collar stuck to her, and she has a limited amount of time to crawl through a bunch of painful steam pipes blasting at her, And if she does not get to if she does not get to point B in time, then that arrow will detonate and it will impale through her head and brain and kill her.
This one's tough because she's on a time crunch, and she has to have the guy help her through the maze by.
Help her with an ultimate sacrifice at the end.
Yeah, and he has to push down on some sort of like lever to.
Yeah, he switches the valve.
He switches the valve, and the heat starts blowing on him while the heat in the maze is relieved, so the lady can get through. And he does actually a pretty good job at this, I'd say, which I think is good. And she does eventually make it to point B, but when she does make it to point B, she has a chainsaw on a table in which she needs to chainsaw open into the guy's stomach, which I think is pretty tough. And then they have to like navigate the key. The guy doesn't want to get his belly ripped open, so he kind of runs away from her for a little bit of time, and then she ends up dying.
So I think I like the idea of this trap. Steam is one of the most painful things I think anyone could experience. Steam burning is like awful, and the idea is good, but I think the execution is really sloppy. Yeah. To be honest, I would rather have had them just make her lose the trap in the first place and have her not get to point B, because it's so contrived that she also has to cut open that guy's stomach as well as get through the Steam stuff. And we haven't talked much about how viable any of these traps are. Because, like, I don't like to be that guy who's like, well, you could undo the thing in your neck. But this trap, he could have just climbed on the outside of the valve, turned it, and then it wouldn't have sprayed him. Yeah. And nobody would have gotten hurt except at the end, which I guess maybe that was Jigsaw's way of preventing that. But I don't know, man. I'm feeling a C.
I agree. C would be cool.
Shotgun Carousel, S tier. I feel it's S tier.
What movie is this?
6. It's the spinning one.
Oh,
yes.
The shotgun?
Yeah, the shotgun.
Okay, yeah. This is really good because he has to sacrifice his hand, obviously, to save someone, and he only gets 2 chances to save somebody.
Out of 6 people.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting. Every person's giving their case while the carousel's going around as to why they should not be shot. And, I mean, I like this trap. I think it's a creative trap. And I like the sacrifices that need to be made in order for the people to live. So I'm feeling A or S. Probably S. What about you guys?
Let's go S.
S tier it is.
Alright.
This is the really dumb candle one from Saw 1.
Alright, so this trap, a man is drenched with candle wax.
Like
or not flammable.
It's
like
a flammable thing.
A flammable fluid of some sort. And he has to light a candle and then go around the room, which is also drenched and confined with flammable fluid. And he has to use the light from the candle to look at the walls and find the. What is it? He has to find like some letters or something.
It's so dumb. You have to like solve this code and then crack the safe with the code.
Are we feeling F or D?
Yeah, I don't think this trap is good. I think it's unwinnable because isn't he also like he's barefoot and the bottom of the floor is covered in glass. So like this is when Jigsaw wasn't even rigging traps. So I don't think it was Amanda or Hoffman who did this. So F tier. It's an F tier. I hate this trap. Oh,
Classic.
S all the way. I'll give you Bear Trap, always been iconic. The reverse Bear Trap, sorry, has always been iconic. It's in even like the Dead by Daylight cameo from Saw, so it's by far the most well-known trap from the series.
This is iconic.
Yeah. Who doesn't? I think almost everybody recognizes the reverse Bear Trap.
I've seen one Saw movie, and before I saw a Saw movie, I knew
Yeah.
this trap.
Yeah, so it's been in 3 of the Saw movies, 1, 6, and 7, and we get to see it go off in 7. And the aftermath is really great. So I actually thought it lives up to the hype. It introduces us to Amanda, and I think
the best apprentice.
Facts. There is no better apprentice than Amanda, and I think the reverse Bear Trap is genuinely one of the best. Yeah, one of an S tier trap in the series. The Venus Flytrap.
I think this one is a pretty good trap. You see, this man has a key that's been surgically put into his eye, and he has to remove it to basically unlock the the safety, whatever. He's wearing like this mask.
It's just like
it's like
an
a
Iron Maiden, but just for your head.
Yeah, an Iron Maiden just for your head with spikes, and if he does not get the key to unlock it in time, then it closes in on his head, and which would kill him. And I'm feeling I don't know. I'll put this in B tier. It's not a bad trap, but it's not like great. It's a pretty good trap.
So yeah, I'm B tier.
So B tier. This is B tier.
Okay. The Inferno trap from the first one. I don't know, bro. Just put it in B, Alex. This one's sort of lame. He goes to get the antidotes, and there was literally the whole gotcha moment. Is he had to turn a valve. That's the whole thing. He had to turn like a water thing. So it's like when you're in hell, only the devil can get you out or something. I don't like it. I think it's boring. I think it's stupid, and I don't think it's creative at all.
C or D?
D tier.
D tier.
Where do we put the razor box trap?
The razor box trap. I'm honestly feeling a C. This is maybe even a D because
Sucks.
any person with common sense would know that you shouldn't just stick your arms into two tiny holes with razor
in a house that you've learned is to be trapped to hell
with razor blades like around it, because you can't get your arms out, and you can't get the antidote, but you would die less painfully if you just died of the sickness than having to bleed out for a very long time and having a slow and painful death. So that's why I would give this trap a D.
You guys agree with this? I'm down to put it in D. It's boring. Oh no, it's just stupid. She doesn't use commentary.
Let me talk about these last few. So there, if you might have saw earlier how I switched the needle one to the last place, because I actually want to talk about this last. It's probably because I don't think this trap that's coming up would be a good one to talk about last, and that's the chain trap. I think it's dumb. I think it's unwinnable. It's rigged, first of all.
There's no way you can survive.
Yeah, even if you did pull out the jaw, you had the door's welded shut. So the trap isn't winnable. And then like even the part that's rigged isn't like, even the part that's not rigged you can't beat. None of it is winnable. It's not that cool. It's like sort of gory, but it's dumb. I don't like it. Let's go D tier. We have a lot of D tiers.
I think we can go as far as say F.
Yeah.
It's boring. There's nothing good about it. It's unwinnable.
Okay. Needle Pit. A or S.
Ooh, I'm putting this in A.
It's top tier though. It's top tier. It's definitely top tier.
I don't think it's as good as S though.
Yeah, with the traps that are in S, I don't think the Needle Pit quite lives up to it. It's definitely one of the most hard to watch traps in this franchise. But like it wasn't even Amanda's game. So
She got thrown in like that one.
and like it sort of upset me how like I get that she
Just put it in.
yeah. I get how she like she obviously wasn't meant to win, but I would have rather have her just not get the key than like the guy drop it before he can get the antidote. Which was just frustrating. I think this is one of the better moments for Amanda in the franchise, and I think the trap is great at everything it does. But I think it has some slight errors that really keep it from that iconic trap. But both of Amanda's traps made it into A and S tier, so she's in pretty good company.
This is why everyone is better than Hoffman.
Facts. Even Dr. Gordon is better than Hoffman.
That was like a weird apprentice too.
Yeah, he comes in Saw 7. He's like, I'm gonna kidnap you, lol. Dude, and then the guys from that trap, the public execution trap, help kidnap Hoffman. Like what? Yeah, like what? So maybe.
And then in Jigsaw, the spinoff, we learned that there's like another dude named like Logan, who was involved who was involved even before Amanda. It just doesn't make sense sometimes.
Maybe one day we'll do Saw Apprentices ranked.
Maybe we will.
And all I know is that Hoffman will be in F tier. I hate Hoffman.
Facts. Well,
Hoffman sucks.
I'm gonna let you do the outro.
So thank you guys for watching this. We had a lot of fun making this. Pretty long video, but overall, thanks for watching. Consider subscribing.
Let us know if you think we should change it.
Yeah, let us know if you've got any gripes with the list. And I'll see you guys later, hopefully. Bye.